So hello, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and also support my small business at latricelimited.com. So today we're actually going to be talking about Monsanto and how they have to pay $275 million. Got a tweet here and it says, breaking, in a big case for justice, a jury just ordered Monsanto's to pay $275 million for causing brain damage to school kids. Monsanto has lost 4 trials on the issue and faces billions in liabilities. Why the corporate class hate juries and is desperate to control the courts. Yes. So first off, because this article is going to be mentioning PCBs, and so I don't have to stop. All right. People who don't know, I'm going to give you a definition here. PCB chemicals were banned in the US in 1979 because these chemicals can harm human and environmental health. From the 1920s until their ban, an estimate of 1.5 billion pounds of PCBs were made for things such as microscope oils, and all of this is very important. Microscope oils, electrical insulators, capacitors, and electronic appliances such as television sets or refrigerators. PCBs were also sprayed on dirt roads to keep the dust down prior to knowing some of the unintended consequences of it, okay? Since prior to the ban in 1979, PCBs entered the air, water, and soil during manufacture and use, okay? So we're now going to get into this whole article. Jury awards $275 million in latest verdict against Monsanto. All right, it says the Seattle jury awarded $275 million Thursday to 10 students and teachers who said exposure to Monsanto toxic chemicals caused neurological injuries. The latest verdict in a series of similar lawsuits connected to the Seattle area school where the chemicals were used in old fluorescent light fixtures. The King County Superior Court jury awarded $55 million in total compensatory damages and $220 million in total punitive damages to the plaintiffs who sued Monsanto, claiming they suffered from exposure to PCBs and fluorescent light ballast produced decades ago by Monsanto customers, okay, which were installed in the late 1960s. So this whole thing essentially is about old fluorescent lights that had these PCBs that obviously were banned in 1979, okay? But the problem with it is, though they were banned in 1979 and these were put in the 1960s, people did not just, okay, it's 1979 and it's banned, okay, everything that we had, every building that we put these in, every schools that we put these in, every single building that we put these lights in, we're just now going to have to take them all out, and then we're going to, have to do this. Businesses are trying to make money. They're not trying to lose money. So no business is going to be like, man, they're banned. Or if you want to say like a recall of something, especially back then. Nah, we're going to leave that up there. I have a little bit more. And it says the jury said Monsanto was negligent in supplying the designing PCBs that were not reasonably safe. The jury also said that the products with PCBs lacked adequate warnings and caused injuries to the plaintiffs. Okay. And that's really, that's the whole reason why they're suing. Okay. And they ended up getting this. Now I'm going to get into another article that I've seen. All right. Bayer to challenge the $275 million damage awarded. One of the representatives at Bayer said undisputed evidence in the case does not support the conclusion that the plaintiffs were exposed to unsafe levels of PCBs at the Sky Valley Education, saying, yeah, it was still there, but were you really injured by it? Are you being for real? Were you really injured? Of course, it's all corporate talk that everyone does, okay? Or that these exposures are responsible for their alleged health issues. PCBs were a safe material that were used in a wide array of products to reduce fire risk. Now, mind you, it was banned though, okay? Why was that banned? Think about it, okay? Bayer and Monsanto stopped manufacturing PCBs in 1977. In 1979, they were banned by the US EPA. The environmental regulators said the substances don't readily break down in the environment or probable human carcinogens, okay? Now, here's the thing, because you may be thinking, okay, how does Bayer even come into Monsanto? Are they doing partnerships? Or I'll get into that. How Bayer Monsanto became one of the worst corporate deals. Okay, within weeks of the acquisition closing in June 2018, Bayer lost a lawsuit alleging Monsanto's Roundup herbicide causes cancer. Another 2 defeats followed, landing Bayer with damage payments of more than 190 million. More cases are coming. A total of 18,400 plaintiffs have filed. Okay, so Bayer ended up buying them. So essentially, what's going on is you have people who were who was harmed, injured by these PCBs that were in their fluorescent lights at their school. Okay, yeah, Bayer, nah, that didn't happen, y'all. I mean, they were there, but I mean, not like that. You know what I mean? Like, you get what I mean? So the whole problem is this. I mean, even with Bayer, I mean, buying Monsanto and having all of these lawsuits that are going on. I mean, Monsanto is not a good company, y'all, at all. Anytime, and here's one thing you could do to save yourself and save possibly anyone else around you. If you see that Roundup, you go to Lowe's, you go to Home Depot or whatever, Menards. If you see that, do not buy that stuff, y'all. I remember I was seeing a video on Facebook, and one guy, it was titled like, cleaning my girlfriend's pool, but it wasn't the pool. It was like, the concrete part of it, where you had weeds popping up and stuff like that. He was cleaning that side of it, that part. So not the actual pool. And they were like, oh my God, it's so cool. It's so sweet. And this dude, he was doing everything well. I was like, wow, he's doing a really good job. And then he pulls out the Roundup. And everyone in the comments were just like, what the heck were you thinking, dude? You were doing so well. And then you turn around and then you do this. What are you even thinking? Why would you do that? Because of how harmful it is. Imagine that stuff leaching and getting into your water. You know what I mean? I don't care how much chlorine you put in there. Imagine that stuff getting in your water. That stuff getting on just the concrete, then you walking on it, and then it absorbs. And we already know it causes like some severe, almost terminal cancer for some people, So these companies are real shady. They're obviously in some very shady businesses. They have some very shady business practices. So for me, I am happy that they're doing this. But again, like, look at the Bayer. It was a multi-billion-dollar buyout that they did. Okay. So 275, I mean, it's a significant amount of money, but it's not, it should be more. Like, this company should be shut down.